So we are here today to talk about the power of positive words, and Gabby's going to be joining us. Can you see?
There.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Yay, we did it! Okay, good. Technology.
Good morning.
Good morning. So Gabriela and I are here today. Gabby, it's so nice to see your beautiful face. I miss seeing you in person.
I know. It's so nice to see you too.
My beautiful friend. So Gabby and I have worked together for almost 10 years, doing psychotherapy and art therapy and in San Miguel de Allende. And Gabby is the reason you are one of the reasons why I've become an activist in my life. You've inspired me in so many ways. And today our work has aligned a lot over the years. And today we're going to be talking about the power of positive words, like we have been talking together about, and I would love to hear about your years of experience, and also your project right now that you're doing with women, your photography project.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Katie. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to be here having this conversation with you and with everybody. Because I think that a lot of people know when they saw the information and the conversation that we were going to have today, it brings so much, right? Because we all use words for everything, right? So actually, there is this therapist, and he was a biologist that said that that's what makes us different than all the animals, right? That we are able to talk, to have conversations, and to create language. So that's what makes us also so unique, no? And at the same time, so complex, no? So thank you, Kate, for having this conversation with me. And yes, I have more than 23 years of experience being an art therapist. And I used to live in San Miguel, but I still go to San Miguel, and I enjoy that so much. That's my other home. And it's been a pleasure to work with you in so many other ideas and projects. Right now, I am working with this project that is called Women, Photography, and Embroidery. And it is beautiful because there's this space for women to just express themselves, to talk, to open up, and it has been a wonderful experience. It's not easy, no, to look at ourselves as women and to construct who we are and what we are right now in the present. But it has been a beautiful journey. And we have used a lot, no, words during all this. It has been like 9 sessions now. And usually when we need to structure ourselves or to make something concrete, we use words. No? But tell us, Kate, tell us about your project that has been for years, right? You have years working with your project.
I will talk about my project, but one thing I wanted to just say about the work that you do, just to validate and emphasize the embroidery part. There's this really beautiful tactile experience with your work that really resonates, and the science around art therapy and creating something meaningful and process over product is really powerful. And I've seen your work in this the creative spaces that you've done with other women, and to have the opportunity for other women to see themselves in a different way and using art. For those of you that don't know, also Gabby and I have done healing workshops together and worked in tandem with women with art therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Gabby and I both have about 25 years of experience in the art therapy field and in psychotherapy. And I wanted to also put a plug in about Gabby's book. Is it backwards? It reads backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Arteterapia de Ejercicios. It's an art therapy book that Gabby wrote, an incredible book that she wrote during COVID to help children and families cope with anxiety. Will you tell us a little bit more about the book?
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Kate. This is a handbook, and it's for kids from 6 to 12 years old. And it is in Spanish, but definitely a lot of kids that live in the States can understand, because it's very basic and it's very it's very simple. All the activities, all the exercises are very, very easy to understand, because the main idea is also that the child can do it by themselves. I mean, of course, their parents can guide them.
Understanding. So she
Yeah.
had the instructions
Mhm.
and then an example, and then very easy instructions for art therapy directives to use at home with your kids. And not just during COVID, but
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
and families have anxiety all the time, right?
Yes, and of course that also our children right now need that, and that's one of the motives or the goal of making this handbook, to bring this alternative or this space for children to express themselves, express their feelings, their thoughts, and so in a very easy way, and it's a little bit guided, so it's a very free kind of like handbook for children, for them to use, but in the same way, it is contained, because there are exercises that have that quality or that characteristic, So a lot of kids had done it, and they come for more, like I need another copy, because it is a very special place. It has been a very special place for kids to just say something, draw something, and they feel very comfortable with those activities. So it has been a tool for also therapists that sometimes want to use some art, or wants to, like, if they want to bring something different to therapy. So it has been also a tool for teachers. They have told me, like, oh my God, it has been wonderful just to see how many options and how many other things I can just give to my students, and it's so simple, it's so easy. So yeah, so the main idea in the beginning of, like, for doing this handbook was to help as much children as I could, because during COVID, I mean, there was this huge need, to just hear kids and listen to kids that were going through so many difficulties, just like adults, I mean, but kids were going through also grief, a lot of losses.
Yeah.
So it was also very complicated for us as a therapist to also be there for children. So this handbook comes to in that moment, where everything was so chaotic and we didn't know a lot of things, and I think that after COVID it could be used as a tool, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I can attest, as a practitioner, I've used this book multiple times. I've bought copies for my kids.
Yeah.
And then I have a copy where I, make copies out, and I'll work with clients, and it's really powerful. And
Mhm.
when we're talking about the power of positive word, or words in general, this is a space where kids can use their words to talk while they're working, and use
Mhm.
art with words, because you know uh, I think there's this notion that like there's toxic positivity. You're just using positive words. People don't feel seen and heard.
Mhm.
It's the way in which we use words, like through trauma. My work is centered on women who've experienced extreme trauma, and
Mhm.
rewriting those narratives, not so that you're not using maybe words that that were hard at one period, but it's a reclaiming of the way in which we see the trauma that has happened
Mhm.
in life. Um, is there an echo on the phone?
Mm,
Oh,
no.
hearing echo is very distracting. And so, when we do things like these powerful tools to help people reclaim parts of their of lives that were hard, anxiety, trauma, um, you name it, being able to use really powerful words to describe and change the narrative in which where the trauma began.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right. And
Yeah.
I really like to think about, negative thoughts, and how
Mhm.
negative thoughts and how those negative thoughts turn into negative words, and then those negative words are manifested in our daily life, and
Yeah.
how we can retrain, actually, the neuroscience around retraining the brain so that those negative words don't turn into negative thoughts. So we may really struggle, like, oh, I yelled at my kid and I'm a bad mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I lost control, and and it wasn't my best day. And tomorrow
Mhm.
is a new day. So you see the difference? It's not that we're discounting what happened, but we're
Mhm.
giving space for growth, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had a therapist friend once. She said, imagine that you're walking in a forest and have this firmly laden path, right? Where it's a negative thought process or a negative cycle. And you're walking down this pathway, and you choose, and it's firmly laden, because when you go on a path over and over again, that path, you see it clearly, it's very real to you.
Mhm.
When you choose a different path, you have to start laying the grass down, and you don't really know where you're going, and it's new, right? But
Mhm.
the more you practice to walk down that path, reorienting your brain to using more empowering positive words, and saying, okay, recognizing, okay, I'm saying a negative thought to myself, I'm being unkind to myself. How do I change that?
Mhm.
So and you and I, am sure, have done this with many clients, but it's um, the rewriting of the narrative, and the
Mhm.
rewriting of the story, and actually doing exercises where, okay, you are saying this negative thought to yourself over and over again. How are you going to reframe it to say it in a
Mhm.
different way? And once you do the reframe, you are actually laying down a neurological path in your brain for new self-discovery and new growth and new ways to recover from trauma, right? And,
Exactly.
and I think
Exactly.
that's why words can be so powerful. And
Mhm.
uh, in the world right now, we are experiencing so much trauma. What we see in the media, what we choose to listen to, what we choose to not look at. I'm not saying don't look at things and don't educate ourselves. about systems of oppression going on in the world and how do we educate ourselves, and not engaging in conversations that it can incite violence, right? So regardless of what you believe on either side, or maybe you're in the middle, you know, I'm seeing so many people engage in conversations online with people, with complete strangers,
Yeah.
you know, calling people baby killers, calling people this, calling people that, and you're not seeing a person's face. You're not being able to empathize with the other person. You're just calling out the horrible people that you don't know what their story is, right? And I really wanted to take the time today to talk about the self-care in that, and choosing not to engage in spaces where you're not going to change someone's mind that thinks differently than you. So take care of yourself and your heart. Engage in conversations and spaces. Write down meaningful things. Write down meaningful words that empower you, rather than targeting a complete stranger online about maybe a belief system they may align more to you than you know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is also a way to fight Islamophobia, fight anti-Semitism, by not engaging in really harmful conversations, right? So we can choose um, how we engage in spaces with other people to create peace within ourselves, peace with other people, right? And
Yeah.
and and also it's okay to you know, take space from conversations that are hard, and rest and recover, and then come back. And when you rest and recover, you're more energized to do the necessary work, the activism work, the healing work, the humanitarian work, right?
Yeah. 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 I don't know, okay, but I mean, we didn't prepare this, but but I think it would be so interesting if people that are here right now with us in this conversation, if they just want to write a word, right, of how they feel right now, how they are right now, because I love what you're saying, and I think that I mean, we're gonna give them some exercises also as suggestions. But I think that it would be wonderful if people that are here right now, if they want to write just a word of how they feel. No, it could be a word, it could be a phrase, but so you see how beautiful it is also just to create something, no? Like, oh, and that creates also a lot of awareness. And that's why I love what you were saying, because it is a decision. It is definitely a decision to say, do I want to take this path or this path? No, this path is gonna probably take me. This road is gonna take me to probably everything's gonna be negative, and all my life is so negative. No, and probably that's gonna be the road that I'm gonna take. Or if I want a different result, then I need to choose and I need to decide to take another road. You know, so yeah. I mean, it would be wonderful if anybody wants to share and just write words. No, what would be your word?
So I reclaimed the word resilient.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I have, you know, my own, we all have our own set of traumas, and it was the word that I reclaimed for myself, and I actually wrote it on my body.
Yes.
Mhm. Uh, I think that there is a lot of strength in growing from really hard places, and I'm very connected to nature, and that's why I use the metaphor of the path.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of healing that happens in nature, and the way that we can be present and feel like things are greater than us when things feel so heavy. And I think it's important to recognize really severe mental health, diagnosed anxiety and severe depression, medical disorders where you really cannot think of anything positive because you feel so bad. And when we use skills to push us into action, it may not feel like we want to be positive or we want to say something that is healing for ourselves because we're in so much pain. People who are in war zones and incredible trauma, there's so much research and science around staying hopeful in the midst of so much hardship. And one of the ways to do that is to find gratitude, but also use skills where you're choosing words that say things like, oh my God, I'm going to die, or oh my, I'm going to make it through. Or I might not make it through and I had a beautiful life. Right? Or I can't get out of bed today. This is really hard for me. And I know that tomorrow will be better. Those types of reframes can get us out of really hard places. And it's important to recognize that so we're not, just no one's positive all the time, right? No one is. And it's important to recognize when we're hurting and that it can get better for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. So some of the benefits that words or creating words or writing words have this beautiful power because it gives us structure. That's one of the things that we can definitely feel that benefit. It gives us structure and also gives us a sense of release. Also, we feel that we are expressing something and that we're letting go of something. So even when, as you were saying, when you feel so sad, when you feel so angry, so furious, when you're just writing it, it gives us this sense of, I'm letting go of it. So that's also the power of using words or writing words.
Yeah, that's the psychology around story making, where you actually write down your story and change the narrative, and you're actually taking it outside your body, putting it somewhere else, and the paper is holding space for you, or your canvas, or whatever. I wanted to share my guest, Isa. She said, overwhelmed because a lot is happening, but grateful because a lot is happening. And, Isa, I have painted and photographed multiple times for my Healing Words project. And she is just an incredible person. So I just wanted to a little shout out.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I think, it's important to see the hardship and also try to find gratitude where we can.
Exactly. Actually, I thought of this exercise. You have the handbook over there, but there's this exercise that
because I can whip it out.
I don't know the page, but it's this exercise that there's just hearts, that are there to cut. The one that has a lot of hearts to cut them out. And actually, the instruction or the directive is to write something or write a word in each of those hearts, because during the COVID, we couldn't see a lot of people, we couldn't be in contact with a lot of people, but kids also can cut those hearts, write something and just put it under the door of their neighbors, for example, like we love you or anything. So that's the power of words. That's the power that we have. Just with one word, we can feel so much.
Absolutely. I wanted to share a little bit about the project that I do. It's called the Healing Words Project, and Gaby, you're in my project twice.
Mhm.
a project where I work with women individually and in groups, and talking about reclaiming words that are reclamation of past trauma. Um, People write things like, I have reclaimed my life. We can thrive from this.
Mhm.
Some of them are reclamations of you can't touch me. I'm my own person. Very powerful words, and every woman writes something different. And I sit with them, and we talk about empowering their empowering statements. And a lot of times, um, the people that I photograph, we process their traumas,
Mhm.
and it's a really powerful space because women we start talking about women and how we start talking about their phrase, their mantra, their word that they write on themselves, that they reclaim for themselves. And uh, it's been really a beautiful process for me to watch, because um, we do this work together, and then I photograph them, and they are given the photos, and they pick their favorite photo, and
Mhm.
then they submit, like you did with Gabby, a story about anything they want to say to empower other women, um, and share their own story of healing. And so there's a website where women have their stories and their photos, and women can connect with each other. And people don't know much about my project because I'm mostly sharing my paintings.
Mhm.
The paintings that I do are from the photos. Isa is on right now, and she is someone who I did paint last year. Um, paintings take longer. I can only get one done a month.
Mhm.
So I work a little bit closer with people that I paint because they, when I submit the painting, then we do a video about their story too. So it's a kind of a slow process, but um, I have found that throughout my project that the power of words and helping women recognize their own mantras is really beautiful. A lot of people don't have mantras, don't have a positive saying, and
Mhm.
the project is a way to help. And and I'm just really grateful to do the work. I was really grateful. We did your photos recently.
Mhm.
That were so
And
beautiful.
do you remember the words that I used the first time and this second time? That it's so, I just want to say that it's so powerful what you do because there is this process that helps us to acknowledge things that from ourselves, from our stories, and helps us to express that in a very contained way because it's just words. But that word can say so many things, no? Just in one word, you can just capture a whole, probably a year of life, right? So I think it's so beautiful because I thought of the first time that we did those photos, I wrote guerreras, no, which means warriors, with my daughter. And it was because I was also dealing with giving birth. It was so traumatic that I mean, so we wrote those words in our arms. No, I don't know if you remember.
Of course,
And
I remember. Like it was
and I think
yesterday.
that my daughter was probably 2 years old. She was very little, right? And this time it was only me, and and you can see that whole transition and this whole like difference from the first time and the second time and this other time. I'm dealing with very different things, and I wrote amor, which means love, and rebirth. And I use both languages, because sometimes I feel and I think in Spanish, and sometimes I feel and I think in English. So in one arm I wrote rebirth, and the other one amor, which means love. So it was just so beautiful after to see those pictures because you can definitely, just by looking at those pictures, you can see the the symbols, how we can also use the symbols in our body. I think it's so intimate because we write, and you write those words in our skin. It's not in our clothes. It's in our skin. So it goes directly to us. So it's so intimate. I love the process. I love the all the idea, because it brings so much healing, and it's probably very simple, and people could say, oh, but you just write words in your arm. But, well, do it so you can feel the intensity and the and how deep you can go with that.
Yeah. When I started doing the project, I realized that it really was an intervention project around reclaiming oneself. And I've had so many beautiful and difficult conversations with women and children about keeping bodies safe and what it means to be empowered and feel empowered, things that have happened in the past, and moving forward in life. And I love the example of your photos because you can see the healing from the transition, right?
Yes.
That you've gone through your so much manifestation in your own life, as we all do. It's a journey, not a destination. And I love how much both of our work entwines, right? And I love you were saying about the actual, like, how healing the actual writing is on the body, and I feel the same way about your work in the embroidery.
Yes.
There's this tactile, really beautiful, methodical quality about embroidering around photos that you choose, right? And the way in which your clients work and the way you work is really powerful. Do you have an example to show us right now? Like, do you have one?
Yes, we were not prepared for this, but yes. So in the workshop that we're doing, we're working right now with like different kind of exercises. So this photo, it's my photo, and it's on paper, but you can do embroidery on paper too. I mean, in everything. You can do embroidery in everything. So this is something that I did. This is, I mean, it's mixed media, but all of this, it's embroidery.
Wow.
This is yarn, and
The photo of it. I have to say, I love how much you integrate the heart.
yeah.
This is for another day, but,
Yeah, we can do another one then.
it's so wrapped up between our head and our heart. And when we are fully connected to our heart, the mind, you don't get so wrapped up in your thoughts about what we should be doing or what we could be doing. When we're heart centered and we're connected to our intuition, there's so many less negative thoughts that happen in the body. And I love how you integrate the heart in so many therapeutic modules that you do. And now I'm seeing it in the piece. It's really beautiful.
I definitely believe, Kate, that our heart is the motor of everything, And so, so a lot of years ago, I learned that actually we women, we have two hearts. Of course, one we have here, but this is the other heart that we have, right? So that's why this picture and this photo that I took of me, and then that I did there's watercolor on it, there's embroidery. Yeah, it's very deep, because we women, we don't usually are conscious or aware enough that we have so much power within us, and not power of violence, but this other power, that it's so subtle, it's so inside of us. So yeah, so that's why. Does it show your feet, please? I don't know, but it doesn't have feet. It's just this part of my body.
Yeah. Okay.
But the other one that we use for the information for this conversation, that's a very deep exercise that I also did with another photo that I took of myself, and until I saw, sorry,
Are you talking about the photo that we
yeah,
posted?
that has all this
Friday?
words
Yeah,
around
would
me.
you talk more about that piece?
Yeah, I took that photo probably 3 weeks ago, no, and I didn't realize how mad and sad I was until I saw the photo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I saw the photo and I was like almost like scared of myself, no? Like what? What is going on? Usually, and you know me, I'm always laughing, I'm always, no, but to be able to capture that feeling was amazing for me, you know? And I really encourage everybody to try that, not to only take your selfies, no, no, that you look good and that, but also to take photos of yourself that you don't look that happy, you know? Because that gives you so much feedback of where you are, you know? And also you're giving a lot of value to whatever feeling you have, you know? And I think that sometimes that's what goes wrong when we don't even give space to feelings that sometimes are not that positive, but we have them, you know? So when we don't open up to ourselves, I think that uh, that creates a crisis sometimes, no? But anyways, so I saw myself in the picture, and I was so surprised, I was so shocked, and I was like, oh my God, so why do I look so mad, and why do I look so, it was like mad and sad, no? So I started to like think and think and think, and then I got it, no, I got it. I mean, uh, it's been almost a year that I end up with this 8-year-old relationship that, no, I think that all of us go through. Like you thought that you were happy, but until you end the relationship, you're like, oh my God, what did I do? No, because there was abuse, no, and there was violence, and I think that until I saw that photo of myself, I really understood that that's what I had inside of me.
Yeah.
Like I was so mad. And so actually, like what I wrote is this beautiful song that this is it's not a Mexican artist, but she lives here in Mexico, and her name is Amanda Miguel, and the name of the song is Mentiras. I think it's Mentiras, lying, no? So it's a very deep song. The lyrics, it's just really strong power, and this woman has this hair, no, and it's just a beautiful woman. And so what I wrote, because it just came to me, no, I started to sing that song while I was like recognizing the feeling, and I just wrote that some pieces of that song, no, and gave me this huge understanding of where I was and what I was feeling, you know? So and I started crying, no? So that's why there's a little bit of like tears there, because yeah, it was so beautiful, no?
Yeah, when
Because I was able to see that, you know?
you posted that art piece, I just gasped because it's so powerful and so beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's the power of truth and the power of words, you know, being able to reclaim and see yourself in a different way. And
Yeah.
uh, you know, as you're talking about music, we all use music to heal ourselves in our life, and there are really powerful words in music.
Mhm.
There's an artist that I've been following for a very long time. Her name is Milk, and she is a complete activist in every aspect of her life. She has a song called Gold,
Mm,
and one of the phrases is turn your pain. I'm turning my pain into gold,
mm,
and um, and I cry every time I read. I listen to the song, and I heard once, mu- musicians turn activists into action,
mm,
right? So music gives us the words, and with the melody, is this is music therapy, right? It gives us
mm.
the fuel to push forward and to fight, right?
Yeah.
In art, in the ways that we work,
Mm.
um, and and uh, and music, because of these beautiful, powerful words, can really also transform.
Yes. We can make another conversation that it's called the
Absolutely.
of
We could talk
art,
for
the
hours
power
about
of
it.
images, no? Because, and that's why also we were talking a while ago about art and the power of art, no? When we are expressing, and we don't have to be, I'm not a photographer, no, I'm not a, no, but I'm a human being, so I have the power of expressing something, no? So I can probably take a photo of myself and it would be something that I need because I need to use that. And photography, it's a tool, no? Painting also, it's another tool. Writing, it's another tool, no? So I think that we can just take as many tools as sometimes we need to express ourselves, to create, as you said a while ago, also, no, to create this health um, for ourselves, to take care of ourselves, no. So I think that yeah, we need to talk more about art and how art can heal in so many ways, you know, can help us in just to say what happened, you know, and also you were talking about trauma, and there is this there was two therapists because one of them died, David Epstein and Michael White. Remember that I told you about those two therapists? They started this whole world of how to use the writing, you know, in trauma, in everything, you know, in terms of therapy, you know. And so Michael White and David Epstein are very well known because they started their project with the name of narrative, no, narrative therapy. So if anybody is interested in that, they can just Google. They have books, and one of their main exercises or techniques is to write your story. No, to just sit down, write your story, and then they worked with that story because that is the person's view of their world and their story, right? So their story says so much of who they also are right now in the present, you know. So that's a beautiful exercise that they create in this therapeutic context where through their stories they can change. I mean, we are the writers of our stories, so we can also change whatever you need to change about your story, you know. That doesn't mean that if, for example, something very traumatic happened to me, that doesn't mean that it will erase that. That means that I have all the right to probably just write that part of my story in a different way so I can heal.
Yes.
So I don't have to stay with that fear or that anger or that frustration or whatever it is. No, so I can just um, create a different way to see myself, you know, and my story. So I just wanted to mention the work of them because it has been also beautiful. Um, One of the stages or one of the most beautiful moments in their in their model, it's how to externalize, how to externalize their stories, their feelings, their emotions of their patients, and that just that first step, it's so powerful, and so again and again we are gonna say this, it's so healing, to say this is what happened to me. So I don't know, Kate, do you want to continue with the prompts or with the exercises that we want to suggest to the audience, to our friends?
Yeah, I think it's important. And part of our goal today was to raise the vibration a little bit in the world and help people
Yeah,
on their own self-care, to regroup,
yeah.
rest, take care of yourself or ourselves, and then continue the work that you're doing to raise awareness and create a voice for others, um, and fight for what you believe is right. And that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's important that we take the time to have the self-care that we need in order to regroup and then trudge forward. So I think that we are running out of time. So Gabby, why don't you share your exercise if you'd like?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I love
So, what? Well, I don't know if I changed it, actually. I don't know if I told you
Oh, go
or if
for
I
it.
changed.
We're on live.
But there's this beautiful exercise that it's with your name, right? So write your name and do this like search or research of what your name means, So you can use also each letter of your name for many things. That's a very easy exercise and everybody can do it, and children do it, They can, if my name is Gaby, like G because greatness. I don't know. But really you can take this exercise as deep as you need or want. So really search what your name means, What's the meaning of Gabriela, for example? That actually has a very deep meaning, no? But you can write the story of your name, So that would be the exercise. Write the story of your name, And what your name means for you. I mean, my name comes from the Arcángel Gabriel, right? So it means the messenger, it means strength, And also means the strength of God. So
I just got chills. I was like, that represents her perfectly.
so create the story of your name, because there's people that they don't like their name, and now you have the opportunity to change your name if you want. I mean, legally, no, you can do that. But because that name represents something, probably the name represents trauma, or my name equals trauma. So to work with your name, it's very delicate. But this is my my suggestion, to go deeper into my name. And sometimes, I mean, you can use it in a very playful way, just play with the word, with the letters of your name, and probably just do some words with the letters of your name by thinking of I don't know, what your beliefs, your feelings, your emotions. I mean, you can use those letters to describe that. Um, but if it's very uncomfortable, and if you have been struggling with your name because it represents trauma, or means trauma, then don't do this exercise,
Or
because.
I think also the exercise that I talked about, I think
Mhm.
we could even marry um, the exercise using your name and reclaiming a mantra, a positive mantra for yourself with your name, and that then read that mantra every day that you wake up. So
Mm-hmm.
that it's really becoming ingrained. I am a warrior woman. I deserve love. I, Gabriela, am a messenger of God, right?
That's very strong.
Super strong and super powerful. And
Yeah.
it is, you know, everyone knows this research, but you know, it takes 10 positive words to fight one negative word. So in the eyes of trauma, in the eyes of a child, you know, you have to really pound those positive thoughts in or positive words in, because we get so much negativity all day long in the media and the this and the that. And reclaiming, having a mantra that you literally wake up. I tell clients to write their mantra and put it on their mirror or somewhere where they have to read it every morning
Mm-hmm.
to remind you of who you are. And I think using that with your name is
Mm-hmm.
would be so powerful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Do you have your mantra? I don't know if you have told me your mantra.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm going to, now that we're having this conversation, I'm going to change my name. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to say, uh, Katie, breathe, and you will thrive from this.
Oh.
I have had breathe, and you will thrive from this. And I think that's an important distinction when we use words where we're using I statements and present tense statements, not in the future, right? So instead of saying, I will thrive from this, I am thriving from this,
Yeah,
right?
to use the present. Yeah.
I have words all over my studio wall. It's backwards right now, so you can't see
I
it.
know, but where do you have those words? I was there in your studio and you didn't have those.
Yeah,
Did
I did
you?
it for last month.
Oh,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
that's why.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What kind of words do you have? Or do you write them like every time you feel like you need to write a word? That would be a great exercise.
Some of the words are words of other women that really moved me and touched me in my life and really inspired me.
Yeah.
Um, uh, One of my dear friends, she wrote, who's in my project, she wrote, "How loud must we scream for our voices to be heard?"
Mm-hmm.
And that was her reclamation of continuing the work of activism, humanity for women in India.
Mm-hmm.
And and she wrote it in her language, and it's really powerful. Um, I love the word warrior. I have it up several times.
Yeah.
I write. I wrote I am beautiful. I remember I went into a bathroom once and it said I am beautiful written on the wall, and I started crying because it was just so
Oh.
beautiful. I didn't expect to see that. And
Yeah.
self-love is so much about reclaiming these words that heal us, right?
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Ah, thank
Well,
you so much, Kate.
I think our time is up. People have been messaging asking where to get Gabby's book, and I'm going to post this live on both of our Instagrams, and when I post it, it will have Spanish subtitles. Um,
Yes.
we have many people who live in Mexico and all over the world. I have to, and many of Gabby's followers are in speak Spanish, so we're going to post it there, and I will also post. I will also post where to purchase her
Yeah.
beautiful book.
They can buy it on Amazon here in Mexico. Also, they can buy it in the States. I have a, ¿cómo se dice? Representante, manager.
Yeah, and that's good to know too. It's in
Yeah.
English and Spanish. You can buy it in both, right?
No, it's in Spanish only.
Oh,
The
okay.
book is in Spanish, but you can buy it here in Amazon, here in Mexico,
Okay.
or you can buy it in the United States or Canada. I have my manager that it's actually logged in there. Mi Corazón Infinito, that's my beautiful cousin that lives in LA, and and she's saying we can ship worldwide.
Good.
Yeah,
Yay.
it went to Canada, it went to New York. I mean, so yeah, so yeah, you can get it. And here also, if you write to the la editorial, to the editorial, they can also ship it free.
Good.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, it was wonderful to see your beautiful face today. And
Yes, it was so beautiful to have this conversation.
yeah, and we'll do more. This was really fun.
Do you want to see if anybody has like a question or a comment?
Yeah, let me see if.
And she says, we are ready to ship in time for Christmas.
And that's me.
Yeah, that has been something so beautiful. I mean, a lot of people have been thinking of children. I mean, this book, I mean, it's for adults, no, to understand, and if they are interested in knowing more about their children's lives, no. So so a lot of adults have been purchasing the handbook to give them as presents to other kids, no. So
I mean, I buy these in bulk. I buy her book in bulk, and I give them as birthday gifts, as Christmas gifts. It is the most
yeah,
beautiful. It's I love
yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you so much,
it.
thank you,
So our time is up. I love you, Gabby. Thank you for all the important work you do in the world,
thank you.
and how much you've touched my heart and my life. I'm just
Mm,
I love you.
thank you so much, thank you.
World a better place.
Thank you. Thank you. You too, you inspire me always, 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 always. And I have enjoyed so much your work and working with you. So thank you.
Great.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.